Arsenal are favourites to sign Mykhailo Mudryk. This has been confirmed by a source coming in from Spain, and obviously FABRIZIO Romano had lots of things to say about it. Grant Xhaka, game by numbers, as Switzerland beat Cameroon by 1-0. That Arsenal assistant captain, and obviously Thomas Partey is going on the field of play in the next 20 minutes from now, and I think by the time this video will be up, the game would have been played. Thomas Partey would have played like 20-30 minutes onto the game of Portugal, but it's really another big one. Even Brazil is playing today, and obviously, are we seeing Gabriel Jesus or Martinelli start for Brazil? Let's wait and see when the lineups are really out at 21 hours. But the other story is all about William Saliba. Is one of those that we're going to talk about into this video. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you and where are you watching us from, guys? Continue to subscribe to this channel and subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. When I look at the YouTube channel right now, I really want to see how many subscribers are we left with to hit 8,000 subscribers, because I know you guys are really great and you've been great people onto this channel and you've been royal subscribers. We are left with 170 subscribers to hit the target of 8,000 subscribers. So guys, continue to subscribe as I do the needful. Rokan David is my name, and let me get into the stories that are really happening right about now. Now, we've been told by two journalists, there is Features, you get, and FABRIZIO Romano. Now, Features Football is telling us that Arsenal and Roma are reportedly leading the race to sign Shakhtar Donetsk winger Mykhailo Mudryk, reports Features. And FABRIZIO Romano is telling us that I'm sure Shakhtar Donetsk want way more than 50 million euros for their star. It could probably be as high as 60 to 65 million euros, as FABRIZIO Romano reported on the 18th of October. That is what we are being told. Now, Features is telling us that Arsenal and Roma are leading the race. The reason as to why I'm really taking out Roma can't go out and cough out that amount of money to get in a player who goes by the name of Mykhailo Mudryk. Do you know why? I believe they are looking at other positions to strengthen their team. Secondly, they can't go out in January and really put out that huge amount of money. Reason being, when you sign Mykhailo Mudryk at 65 million euros, you must be having the potential to lift him, if I told you are Roma, to lift him to the level of making him a world-class player and then sell him. Because Roma, clubs like Roma are selling clubs. They are selling clubs. And they didn't sell Totti because Totti just all never wanted to go on and play for AC Milan, Juventus, Manchester United, and very many other teams. But he was on the market. The Madrids of this world wanted him. Barcelona wanted him, but obviously the player is the one who always rejected and declined them off. But if I told you go to Roma, when you're wanting any player, they'll get you the player provided you pay them the amount of money they want. So in this case, I roll out AS Roma totally. That's it. I'm ruling out AS Roma totally. Now, let's go to Arsenal leading the Mykhailo Mudryk race. And when you're talking about this, it really excites me a lot about this young lad. He is one of those that you would love to watch every time. He has passed the eye test of many viewers of football in the world. He's really great, and he's a generational talent, very exceptional talent. That's why he's being referred to as the Ukrainian Neymar, and I believe he has traits of Neymar in him, but for him, he's more aggressive. I believe at the age of 20, where he is making the right move, and he chose Arsenal over every team. You remember the interview he did with the wife of Zinchenko when they told him, you go on Madrid on the bench or play for Arsenal. He said, anything, even if I'm going to Madrid to start, I won't go there. I'll go out and play for Arsenal on any day. And this is the second time he's coming out verbally to announce his interest to join Arsenal publicly. The first time he did it was after they beat RB Leipzig by 4-1, and he was saying in January, I want to go to Arsenal, and Arsenal are too working ahead to go on and really bring this player. Why Arsenal favorites They've been chasing this player. The player likes Arsenal. And secondly, there is another factor that really came in through. That is Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko is the captain of Ukraine, the national team. He has told the player that you have to come to Arsenal. He not only told the player, but he went to the board, the likes of Edu, Ateta, and very many others, and recommended Mykhailo Mudryk to them, that he's really one of those perfect signings that Arsenal should go in for in the January transfer window. And obviously, I did a story yesterday that FABRIZIO Romano said about this boy that Arsenal have made him their marquee signing or their priority signing in the January transfer window, and they are willing to break the bank to go on and sign Mykhailo Mudryk. So it shows you that Arsenal are favorites because the player has come out and really said, I want to go to Arsenal. What Arsenal needs to do is simple. Arsenal just needs to go all out and cough out that money to a side which goes by the names of Shakhtar Donetsk. That is really great. FABRIZIO is telling us 60 to 65 million euros. Others are reporting 100 million euros. But I believe at 60 million euros, Arsenal can get this player. I believe they can get this player. Reason being, Shakhtar would have made a lot of money from this lad, and that's what they expect from him. Though, the director of football at Shakhtar Donetsk was speaking to Di Marzio down in Italy, and he told him that this guy is like Neymar or Kylian Mbappe and is in that range. And I 100% disagreed with him. Do you know why? Talent-wise, he might be, but when we really put him on the scale of what he has done in the game of football, he has not done even a quarter of what Neymar or Mbappe have done in their career. So I believe it's a great narrative for the sporting director of Shakhtar Donetsk to have such a narrative in him. But the fact is, the boy has a very good ceiling, a very high ceiling for him. That doesn't make him tick all boxes concerning his relevancy and equity to Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, the ceiling is high, the tide is high for him. He can go on and really become the best player, especially if Atoli comes in at Arsenal with Mikel Arteta, having shown us the potential he has in improving young talent like Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, look at Emily Smith-Rowe, and the way he has gone ahead to really scout in new talent and obviously integrate it with the already existing players of Arsenal. He's really great at what he's doing. The likes of Ramsdale, like I told you yesterday, where you see a very good manager is when he goes all out and leaves out a goalkeeper. Bernard Leno, very much experienced at Arsenal, German international. He says no to him and obviously chooses to go and buy Ramsdale from the Championship, meaning that he has an eye for scouting good talent. So Mykhailo Mudryk, Arsenal were the first to scout him, and it was the very first time for me to hear about Mykhailo Mudryk. This last summer, it was all about Arsenal's interest that we got to know about him. And secondly, FABRIZIO always talked about that mystery winger that Arsenal are going to go in and look for. And obviously the news broke. And I believe FABRIZIO doesn't want to go on and really release news concerning players because very many agents contact him to give him news concerning their players. And I think he dishes out to some third, fourth tier journalists to read it out. Then later, when everything is in the pipeline to happen, that's when he came out yesterday and confirmed to us that Arsenal's January marquee signing is going to be Mykhailo Mudryk. So let's wait and see what's going to happen in between Mykhailo Mudryk and Arsenal. But obviously, Arsenal are leading the race to sign Mykhailo Mudryk, as confirmed to us by FABRIZIO Romano. Now, after that, I came here and told you that the Arsenal captain got an injury. That's an ankle injury. That's an ankle injury when he was playing in the game of Finland versus Norway. I think that game ended 1-1 in favor of none of the teams because a draw doesn't favor any team according to me. Now, Ben Dinnery, the founder of Premier League Injuries, a website used to track and record injury data for the British Premier League, has come out and really told us the following about the injury of Odegaard. And obviously, this injury update is being needed by all Arsenal fans all over the world. Now, Ben Dinnery has told us that I haven't got any concerns at this point that Odegaard's ability is in any way, shape, all form under threat for when the Premier League fixture resumes, because very many Arsenal fans were really worried. And he said on Martin Odegaard, and he took to his ankle in Norway's friend last week. There is nothing at this point to suggest that it's anything too serious. The fact that it was more impact than a knock is a good sign. So he hasn't got any news concerning Odegaard, and I believe Odegaard will find himself fully fit back, because when they really tell you to mention injury-prone players, I think Odegaard is out, and the way he really recovers is insane. You remember he missed out the game against Brentford when he got an injury in training. After like 3 days before, he went ahead and played 2 games for the Norwegian national team. Returned, he played against Spurs, where they beat Spurs by 3-1. So I believe it's not going to be something serious, as very many people are really mourning about it, obviously, because this lad is really one of the best in the world, according to me. You know, for me, I see things from afar. I appreciate players according to their abilities. Now, if the player improves on his attitude and his mental strength, he can really become the best in the world. And I believe Martin Odegaard, in the next 2-3 years, by the time he makes 25 years, he's going to be one of the best central attack midfielders in the world. We are going to be talking about in here on the Rokani Media Football. And everyone watching this video will come here and remind me and retell me that Rokani, you predicted it right. You see, at the age of 21, he's the captain of the Norwegian national team. Right now, like 3-4 months back, Mykhailo made him the captain of the Arsenal national team. What does that show you? He's talented and is now holding a lot of responsibilities, and it shows you that he has a big head on his shoulders. This is the lad. This is the lad that everyone really predicted is going to be one of the best when Madrid signed him at the age of 16, and they put a sellout clause of 300 million euros, but they sold him at 31 million pounds to Arsenal, obviously because he was not getting enough playing time at a side which goes by the names of Real Madrid. When he came in at Arsenal the first time, when he was on loan, he played some 6 months. He really impressed Mykhailo, and Arteta went in to sign a player who goes by the names of Odegaard from Real Madrid in the summer of 2021, and when he came in through, things have been different. This season, Martin Odegaard has scored 6 goals, and I think he has some like 4 or 3 assists into the Premier League. That is Odegaard, fantastic captain. And I'm going to tell you that you might see this guy hit close to 15 goals or 20 this season, and this is when you're going to know that he's really one of the best, as I predicted. Watch Odegaard a lot. Put your eye on Odegaard. He has everything to make him one of the best players in the world to win Ballon d'Ors. Do you know why? If Arsenal increases its level at which it plays at, and I know they're going to add in more quality, that means Odegaard is going to be scoring more goals and creating very many assists, because he hasn't reached even half of his ability. If you saw him in the unders and what he's all about, he hasn't reached half of his ability. He is really a very good player, and that's why very many Arsenal fans were worried about the injury he really got. But obviously, the Ben Dunnery, the injury analyst of the Premier League injuries, has come out and really told us that, all right, it's okay, and don't worry about a lad who goes by the names of Martin Odegaard. He's really going to be okay. Now, William Saliba is another player we're going to talk about, an Arsenal central defender playing very well, though he has not yet played a single minute in the World Cup, and I believe it's going to be hard for him to play because the likes of Rafael Varane are back. Obviously, with Upamecano and Konate starting in the central defense, I think the manager trusts Varane to partner with any of those two. He has come out and really said something about his World Cup eagerness to play, and whether he thought he was going to be picked up as a central defender to play in the World Cup of 2022 down in Qatar. What has William Saliba told us? He has said, when asked by Frimpong, you know Frimpong, he's the hyperman and social editor for the Arsenal team, if he thought he would have if he would make the French squad. He said no, because of the last game I didn't play well, I wasn't sure, bro, but maybe the 3 or 4 before, some of those games started to tell me I would be in the squad. But for me, I believe Saliba knew he was going to be in the squad, though he just doesn't want to make it that it was obvious. But he knows, because when you look at the central defenders of France, when you take out Upamecano, Jules Koundé, Raphael Varane and Konate, I believe it's easy to get him into quotation. And for Jules Koundé, he was taken because they want him to be a backup for Pavard, especially playing as a right back. So that means there were 3 slots for the central defenders and only 1 was left for Saliba. And when you look around the world, all the French defenders, Kat Zuma didn't do enough to convince the manager to go to the World Cup. He was part of the team, he played in the Euros, but the coming in of William Saliba really sent him out of the picking order of the French national team. So Saliba, I believe he knew, though he never really wanted to go on and really showed that it was an obvious case for him to go to the World Cup. But obviously, we believe he will get some minutes in the World Cup, obviously, because the manager can really do some changes. That's it. But they won their first game by 4-1, and Olivier Giroud scored very many goals, and obviously very many others came up through and really put in a very huge input. So that is William Saliba. And lastly, let's talk about the man who really went ahead to lead Switzerland to win their first game in the group against Cameroon. That is Granit Xhaka, the assistant captain of Arsenal. He captained Switzerland today to go ahead and really beat Cameroon by 1-0. Now, Granit Xhaka versus Cameroon, his game by numbers: 90 minutes played, 51 touches, 38 out of 44 passes, 2 shots, 8 passes into the final third, 1 out of 1 tackle won, 2 clearances, 2 recoveries, 1 out of 1 ground duels won, 3 out of 5 aerial duels won, 1-0 and 3 points into the cup for a side which goes by the names of Switzerland, and that is what he really came up through and did. Right now, the game of Portugal and Ghana is going to start. Portugal is having Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, João Felix, and very many others. And notably, Ghana are having Thomas Partey to go on and lead the line. I'm seeing Ronaldo here having a handshake with the captain of Ghana. That is Ayew, that one who played for Sielnce and very many other teams, not Jordan Ayew. I'm talking about Andre Dede Ayew. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Tell me what you think about Arsenal leading the race to sign Mudryk. Then secondly, go ahead and let me in about what you think of the following people. Of Odegaard's injury, then Saliba having not been sure of making it to the World Cup, and obviously what do you think about the game, Granit Xhaka's game by numbers versus Cameroon after they beat Cameroon by how many goals? After beating Cameroon by 1-0. Rokani David is my name. I hand you over there, my lord. I sign out for now. See you later, my mate.